Hello, how are you doing? I hope you're feeling as glorious and spectacular as I know you are. Now, obviously, I don't know who you are, but as this candygram is titled Shane Dawson versus the Mandela Effect, there's a possibility, I suppose, that you might be a young Shane Dawson fan, in which case you are very welcome, and I hope you watch this through because I think there may be some stuff in here that's extremely interesting to you. You may be somebody who's affected by the Mandela Effect. You may even be a conspiracy researcher. You may even be a normal human being. Goodness gracious me. But whoever you are, you're very welcome. I think you're awesome. And let's get on with this episode. So, Shane Dawson versus the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect came to my attention a couple of months ago, and I quickly became interested in how so many people are affected by it, yet so few people seem willing to talk about it. When I do a search on YouTube for Mandela Effect and I filter it to see which video has had the most hits, this is the result I get. Now, I did this search on the 20th of October 2016, and as you can see, the video with the highest number of views is Shane Dawson's Conspiracy Theory, The Mandela Effect, with over 3 million views. So this is interesting to me because, from my point of view, the Mandela Effect should be of interest to just about everybody on the planet. But the most views a Mandela Effect video has had is just over 3 million. And it's fair to say that a large number of those viewers were actually more interested in Shane Dawson than they were in the effect. The next highest scoring video has just under 3 million hits. So at the moment, the ceiling of interest on YouTube for this phenomenon is around the 3 million mark. And while that's a respectable figure for most videos online, it seems like a drop in the ocean to me, especially when you consider that most videos about the effect have much, much smaller view counts. Okay, so I've got something for you to think about, whoever you are. The internet, as we all know, is set up in such a way that if you use social media, whatever appears on your news feeds is tailored to your tastes based on what you have clicked on before. So everything that you have clicked on while you're using social media, a record is kept of that. Now, your response to this may be, cool, I'm glad. I don't want to see things that are not to my taste. That's kind of understandable. But here's the thing. Some people say that the television companies, the film industry, the music industry, the big social media companies are all owned and controlled by the wealthiest people on the planet who go to enormous lengths to influence you in such a way that you serve their best interests rather than them serving your interests. Now, this isn't really news to anybody. We all already know this. But we look around ourselves and we see that everybody around us is clicking away in an addicted fashion, just like we are. So we think, well, it probably can't be that bad then if everybody else is doing it. And even if it is that bad, I look around myself, everyone's doing it, so I don't see anybody who feels strong enough to resist this anyway. Some people say that every time you plug into the media, You are eating sweet tasting slops that are designed to distract you, keep you dumb and ignorant, and make you feel small, worthless, and desperate. And I know you know what I'm talking about. The teenage girls I know in my life, they are beautiful, vibrant, intelligent human beings, and yet every single one of them feels fat, unattractive, and uninteresting. You are in danger of being miserable and frustrated for the rest of your life. The main world view that is presented to us through the media, whether it's the internet or video games, Hollywood movies, whatever, is that you should be afraid of the world, you should be afraid of other people, you should be afraid of not having enough money, you should be afraid of not being attractive enough, you should be afraid of not fitting in. And the media cleverly wraps all of this up in stuff that it knows will stimulate you, because we like being stimulated, and so we keep clicking and consuming, all the while eating up these slops, this message that we are not good enough, which makes us feel bad about ourselves. And then we want to feel better. We want to feel stimulated. So we go back for more. And it goes round and round. And before you know it, you've settled in for an entire life of this. Many of us will get jobs serving the industries that produces this endless flow of slops into our homes, so that we can then afford to go home and consume the slops, because by the time we get home we're not feeling so great and we just want to curl up in front of the box. The thing is, we don't tend to realize how subtle and amazing our minds are, and how subtle and pervasive this corporate mind control is. So let me give you an example, from a personal example. Last night I decided I was going to read a comic before I went to sleep. I know, I'm 47 years old and I like comics. They remind me of my youth, and I have a whole collection of them. So I pulled one out before I went to sleep last night, and it was on my mind before I even started reading it, that do I really want to do this? Because all of this mind control stuff is on my mind, yet here I am picking a superhero comic off my shelf, knowing that it is an example of exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm slightly addicted, and I just wanted to read it, so I did. I went ahead and I read it. And then I turned the lights out, lay down to go to sleep, and because it was on my mind that I'd just been reading something that was influencing my mind, I was lying there in bed observing my mind, and it was clicking away with the same energy that was in that superhero story, which was basically a bunch of super-powered beings beating each other up and fighting and blasting each other. And it's not surprising that then I'm lying in bed and my mind is clicking away in the energy of that comic. And this is happening to us all day, every day, with everything that we are faced with. Our mind witnesses it, and then our mind is clicking away in the same style as what it has been witnessing. And that is happening to you all the time, and you know it full well, and you feel addicted anyway, and everybody else is doing it anyway. And this is how it is, and we tend to be miserable and frustrated, and yet we feel helpless, so we carry on doing it. And this this is awful. I keep wanting to swear, and I'm restraining myself. So okay, so what can we do about it? What's the alternative? If this situation really is so powerful and we are so small and so helpless, what can we possibly do given the state the world is in now? And I don't think it's so bad at all. I think there is a very clear and obvious solution. It's just not the one people talk about. People who are activists and campaigners and wish for the world to be a better place tend to talk about politics, activism, finding out and disclosing the secrets of the elite. And it doesn't actually go anywhere. It doesn't work. The message that I've given in previous videos is the message that I'm going to give again now. I'm just going to suggest that nobody has more power over your life than you do. And you can submit to this mind control of the media. That is your choice. All I'm going to suggest is that while you do that, be aware that you're doing that, and stay aware that you're doing that. And hopefully at some point you will become so aware that you're doing that you'll start to find it less addictive. And hopefully at some point you will become so aware of how much this thing that you love hates you, that it will start to be less addictive. Hopefully at some point you'll be so aware that you'll give up TV, blockbusters, radio, newspapers, porn, beauty magazines that make you feel ugly, because you'll be so aware that they hate you. They just want your money and they want you to be their slave. And the stimulation that they offer you is nothing compared to real life, to your real life. There's this thing that everybody goes on about and longs for, and it's called love. And we make it out to be this beautiful thing that is far, far away over the horizon. We make it out to be this thing that is really difficult to get, and the media makes it out to be this beautiful thing that is really difficult to get. And this is the answer to all of this, and it's actually very easy to get. The way to get this love that we all wish for is is to give it to as many people as we can. And that's it. And when you get really good at this, you just go ahead and love every single person who has ever existed and whoever will exist. And it's probably simpler if you just go ahead and do that now. And if you're a real media addict, then me talking about love like this may not sound too cool. But I'd just like to invite you to consider this. If you try to imagine a Hollywood blockbuster all about a world where everybody loves each other, you may well find yourself thinking, oh dear, that sounds like a really boring movie. Hollywood movies tell us that explosions and violence are cool. But if you ever find yourself surrounded by explosions and violence, you'll know really quickly that it is not as cool as the Hollywood movies made you think it would be. And if you ever wake up surrounded by people who love you, and you love every single one of them, you will find that that is the least boring experience of your entire life. It's got nothing to do with politics. It's got nothing to do with religion. It's just you. It's really just you. Okay, that's me for today. Please share this. I'd really appreciate it if you would share this. And I'm going to end on a song, as I like to do sometimes. I made a Beatles cover with a friend of mine, Rob Blackwell, and there's a lyric in it. It's so hard loving you, which gave me the idea for a video where me and Rob would go and serenade the elite with a Beatles love song to see if we could seduce them to the light side. But it would have been really funny. It would have been a great video, but it was too ambitious and I haven't got the time or the resources right now to do that, so this video is a little bit simpler. But I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you come back next time. Lots of love to you. Bye bye.
Butterfly, why am I so shy when